majority of the people that are right now displaced in the world are women and children. We are talking about a different generation that it has been uprooted.
If you really think about the numbers of deaths and rapes that occur to female-identified persons at the border, we would all be astounded.
Groceries in and out of her house. I asked if she would look at a picture. She indicated that she did not.
We decided to bring together artists, activists, and scholars that work on the topics of migration from the perspective of gender and sexuality.
We're ignoring what's the violence that we're setting up.
The 9-day event was the Binational Encuentro Female Migrations.
Performance art put together theater, video art, and many different types of arts together. So it really speaks to an audience, especially a young audience, in a very different way, using means that they have at their hands.
The issues are extremely complex, and there are multiple strands or multiple problems, and they're intersecting at this place.
The cultural segregation that communities at both sides of the border experience is larger because of the lack of money and resources. So for us, it was very important to bring art there. Because we were talking about the violence of the migration policy and the violence of the wall. So you cannot talk about it and then not present it. So of course the performances, all of them acquire a very different level of significance when they are done at the very same place that they were originated in concept.
The numbers of women who have been violated and who have had to deal with multiple kinds of violence as they've crossed is something that really has not been researched well. The fear of being detained or sent back often outweigh the need to share that information.
We keep talking about migration as it's just this moment, this instant, when people cross or not. There are root causes that are historical, colonial histories, and how manifest destiny is one of the origins, right? So you have to talk about white supremacy and racial and gender ideologies, neoliberal economies, and how all of that interact in the moment where the global south and the global north connect. And that border is just a literal manifestation of all of these interrelations.
I was so struck by the way that Violetta Luna both humanized that Border Patrol agent, but also through that interaction, pushed him to recognize her own humanity.
She was perceived by the Border Patrol as an actress, not as a migrant, even if she is herself. And what she was digging and she was hiding were photographs of disappeared people. Each person was reading that action in a very different way, right? So that's precisely the power of performance art.
This is the final performance of a whole process of this Encuentro Female Migrations. I'm from Mexico City, but my roots are Zapotec roots from Oaxaca. I started doing it through activism, but when I was involved on that and seeing what is going on, I wanted to just show it to the world, like this is what is happening. And I wanted to put that in an art piece.
We, artists, activists, scholars, who are interested in creating a different way of living, have to get out of our silos. And we have to learn to understand each other's languages and to work together.
My piece is named Mujer Borderfly, which is a metaphor of the monarch butterfly and migrant women But it's also a way of honoring all the missing women from Mexico and from here that are missed in the border. You can say whatever you want to say in a safe place through art. My pain can be your pain too. It's not something that is separate. Like, we are the same people.
It's complicated to talk about the root causes of migration, but I do believe that if we don't talk about this, when we talk about migration reform, then we are validating the process that right now is in place, that is deadly, is violent, kills people, and allows for people to be victimized, criminalized, et cetera, et cetera.
When you're addressing issues where there are deeply held values, people shut down because they have their position, they have their beliefs, and there's no way to engage. And so what art does, it creates this pathway, a different way in, so that people are able to potentially engage an issue and to maybe learn something new and maybe feel something differently related to the subject matter.
What I want people to get out of this is the possibility of talking to one another to try to imagine a different paradigm.